Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Better than I was yesterday. I had one of those headaches yesterday where it just hurts to exist. So we had some new metal on the queue and I was like, sorry guys, this one isn't happening today. But we're feeling a bit better today, so let's get some bands on the show. We've got a band today who've made an exclusive submission. This band is called Lock and Load. It says they're a heavy metal rock band from Sweden with a blend of kick-ass metal and raw energy. They've been going since 2015. Well, we like the sound of that. So let's check these guys out. This track's called Lay Me Down. So let's see what it's all about.
Tell you for free, you will never make a fool out of me. So when you spin your web of lies, you got it back right between your eyes.
You want to grab me throat?
You will never burn my heart out.
Yeah, it's got attitude as well.
You will never lay me down.
Yeah, that bass in the mix. I'd like to have seen a bit more volume on the drums, so I must admit, they seem a little bit pushed back in the mix. They could be a bit more punchy and prominent. It's always nice to have big drums in rock and metal, you know?
You can trick me anyhow. I don't care what you say. You can stick to your own way.
Nice lead tone, good bit of reverb on it. Yeah, it's a nice wide mix as well, but I would say that this mix for some reason just seems a bit restrained, you know? I think it is probably the drums for the most part, because they're a bit kind of pushed back in the mix a bit more so, and not as really punchy and loud. You know, the music hasn't got that punch to it. So I think it's probably that. She's got a good guitar tone, she's got a good voice, we can hear the bass in the mix as well. And it's nice and wide. Cool. I enjoyed her voice. She had a real kind of deep and gravelly voice for a woman. And that always sounds great when that comes through because it's quite different, you know. It's kind of out the ordinary for a female vocal. So I always like it when you've got a deep, gravelly female vocal, just as deep and gravelly as any of the males as well. Thought that was cool. Now, I was thinking, I think I realised why this track didn't have the punch and the kind of the prominence and kind of the way that it felt a bit restrained. I think it was the drums, and I think it was the lack of cymbal work in the drums. I noticed there that the chorus and the verse both had closed hi-hat work, and I've spoke about this before with some other rock bands as well. That when the drummer's doing a lot of closed hi-hat work, it gives the music a very tight sound. It's kind of a restrained sound compared to a nice open hi-hat or on the crashes. And when you got a lot of hi-hat in your music, and I said this to another band in the past as well, you don't get the dynamics that you do when you're doing a lot of different cymbal work and taking it from the hi-hats to an open hi-hat and then onto the crashes maybe for the chorus. And that really changes the dynamic of the track and really fills out the sound, because it's really the cymbals are the only sound in that frequency within the mix. So they take up quite a big space of the frequency field. And if you're not working those out and changing that about, the music kind of really sits in one spot. And I always speak about the drums for this reason, is because they're so important. So what I think happened in this track, and the reason it didn't feel like it came across as hard as it could have, is because there was a lot of closed hi-hat work in the drums. And what I would have liked to have seen a bit more is a bit more cymbal work, open hi-hats and things like that when you're changing from one section to the next, so that you get a dynamic shift in all of that high-end frequency, cymbal frequency, and it changes the whole dynamic of the track. And I think that's really why it just felt a little bit restrained, because it was all on the closed hi-hat, and the cymbals were just there for the accents and things like that. So that's something to think about when you're a drummer. Really work your cymbals out, because each cymbal that you go onto and each type of sound that you use from the cymbals changes the whole dynamic of the track, and it's filling out almost a third of the waveform with just that sound, which you've really got a big place in the mix as a drummer with just the cymbals. So when you change to each different cymbal, we hear everything that you do on those cymbals, and it really changes the dynamic of the track. So that would be something I'd be saying to these guys to have a look at in their next jam session, is kind of doing a bit more cymbal work, doing a bit more crash work to bring out that high-end wash and change the dynamic of the track from one section to the next. But other than that, I've gone on a lot about the drums there. I did enjoy the track. I thought it was cool. I like the guitar tones. I like the lead tone. I like her voice. We could hear the bass in the mix as well. Cool. So all those elements are absolutely fine. I think it just bringing the drums up, making them a bit louder, doing more cymbal work would have just pushed this track to the next level. That's what I'm talking about. And with your music, you can always take it to the next level. Even on top of that, if these guys wanted to take it to the next level like that, they could do more vocal layering. They could bring in synths and things like that. So there's loads of ways that your band, even if you think you've got to where you want to go, you could still add something into it to take it to the next level, do something fresh. So that's what I'm talking about. I enjoyed the track very much still. And I'm pleased that I can actually listen to music again yesterday was one of those days where even the sound of your breath is annoying. You got one of those headaches where you just don't want to hear anything, and nu metal certainly wasn't going to be what I wanted to hear that day. So we'll have to push the nu metal guys into next week. Sorry about that, guys, but yeah, I've enjoyed these guys today. Didn't want to hear anything too loud and banging today either, so this has gone down just nicely. Hope you've enjoyed that as well, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the grindcore.